Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back. So yes, as you can tell from the title of the video, free-for-alls are going to be making a comeback in Warhammer 2, and in this video I'm going to be running through a few of the things I mentioned in the live stream. I'll also make sure to link the live stream down below so you guys can go ahead and check it out for yourself. But I am super pumped for this. More content being added to multiplayer in Warhammer 2 is definitely good news for me. I kind of felt like the battles did feel a bit stale after a while in Warhammer 1, and having extra game modes like free-for-all is going to be awesome, and maybe this paves the way for like King of the Hill modes and other interesting battle modes in the future, which, you know, if people enjoy free-for-all, they might decide to add in more game types in the future in Warhammer 3 maybe, or later on in Warhammer 2's development. So that's awesome, and maybe even an Avatar Conquest, but who knows. I mean, that's what I've got my fingers crossed for Warhammer 3, and I really hope that is the case. So to get access to free-for-all, you have to own Warhammer 2. I'm pretty sure that if you own Warhammer 1, you won't get access to it. But if you own both Warhammer 1 and 2, you can use all the 4 or 5 factions from Warhammer 1 in these free-for-alls as long as you own Warhammer 2, which is great. They also mentioned that they're going to be making custom maps from the ground up for free-for-all. So I imagine they're going to be very much like when you select an ambush battle. It's going to be that type of style, and you're going to have a selection of maps to choose from in free-for-all, and you can't play the normal maps. They've done this to try and kind of create a flow to the battles and stop people from just like corner camping on the basic maps, and also try and make it more fair for players, because obviously on some maps in normal Warhammer there's hills on one side and no hills on the other. And they have also mentioned that they're going to be trying to make people the more favourable terrain towards the middle of the map to encourage people to push forward and try and take that. They've said they don't want to try and obviously encourage corner camping or let people get bonuses for just camping in the corner. So I think they're going to be trying to thrust people towards the center of the map so they can all just engage. And this is going to be really interesting because, say, if there is a really big hill in the center, or there's some good choke points or something in the center of the map, it's going to be fun to see what people do with Vanguard deployment. You know, if they want to just push up half their army through Vanguard deployment, say with the Beastmen, and just try and hold that center whilst the rest of their heavier troops kind of slowly makes their way up to that pass, then that's going to be cool to see, and see if there's like an initial skirmish up there when other factions are vanguarded. It's going to be very, very cool to see what these maps are created, because they are just specifically for free-for-all. As well as this, they've also said that it's only going to be multiplayer. It's not going to be in the campaign, it's only going to be multiplayer. So because of this, they mean they don't have to worry about the AI when creating these maps. So they can kind of add in a lot more obstacles and maybe impassable terrain and stuff like that, which the AI would have struggled with, but the players can kind of move around and decide, you know, what path they take much more easily. So hopefully that will add a lot more strategy into the game. And again, maybe there'll be, you know, a center of a hill that have like a little an open fort to it, and maybe, you know, a player can rush up there, but the AI might struggle because, you know, it doesn't know where to go on that map. So hopefully we'll see a lot more obstacles and decisions that the player will have to make to kind of create a more unique story every single free-for-all battle, because that's what I feel like these will be. They'll be just kind of like a fun scenario, a full-on scrap fest, where every time it's different because there's 4 people all trying to look out for themselves. So you have to be very careful at lunging forward and moving back. They said that the distance in these maps, the distance of these armies when they'll deploy, will be artillery range away, so players will be much, much closer than they are in normal 1v1 battles. So because of this, is again going to be a really, really different experience. In 1v1s and 2v2s, you normally try and fill each other out before you engage, whereas this, I think, will just be a straight up charge forward, maybe trying to hold off, see what everyone else does, and then charge in, but you will have to kind of maybe take some missile fire whilst you're holding off. So it's going to be really exciting to see how these battles play out. I'm really hoping we'll get to see some gameplay soon enough. So moving on to scoring. Scoring is going to be done on damage dealt. They're also going to have a few other buffs. Maybe there's going to be like some other bonuses you can do throughout the mission to maybe get yourself a little bit more score. But the majority of the scoring is going to be damage done. That meaning, obviously, if you do a ton of damage to a giant, then that's going to get you more points in killing like 120 orc boys. So you're going to have to be really, really strategic with where you stick your ammunition on units if you're trying to go for the most points in the game. They have also said that you do get points for being the last person standing, however it's not like a huge amount, so I like the way they've done that, meaning again it encourages people not to camp, it encourages people just to go forward, get engaged, get stuck in and have a fight, which is awesome. They've also said, but obviously as I said, the last person standing isn't going to be a load of points, but it might be enough to really edge a close battle in your favor. So again, you know, some initial points like that, which makes me think there might be some other objectives, maybe like go hold a hill for 5 minutes, or get like kill 10 units, something like maybe like mini missions like that will help encourage players to kind of follow through on them. Maybe like, you know, like kill 2 archer units. Stuff like that could maybe give you a small couple points, and it also gives you some more structure to the battle itself. They've also said if you mass route a unit, you get the whole point for, or if you just break a unit and it means it doesn't come back to the battlefield, you get the entire points as if you killed the entire unit. I like how that's done. It encourages people to try and route units, and also it means that if you've routed a unit, there's no point chasing it down. You can just kind of reallocate them resources elsewhere to the battle. Again, it stops people from just like sending one cavalry unit to chase an entire army down just to get some extra points. So I like the way they've done that. They've also mentioned that free-for-alls will be much easier for new players and kind of people who don't take it as seriously, because the battles are very much more an opportunity game. You're going to want to see what happens. Every battle is going to be different, and it doesn't matter if you don't bring the most competitive build. If you see an open flank and you just come smashing in, you're going to do a load of damage and get a load of points. Obviously, and as everyone trying to betray everyone, people are obviously going to be like, oh, we should maybe take out this guy and then gang up, and we will just fight each other towards the end. There's going to be lots of alliances made. It definitely reminds me of the board game, the multiplayer version of Warhammer Fantasy. Was it like Triumph and Treachery or something along them lines, where everyone's just kind of bargaining and they're like, oh yeah, you go take out the high elves and then I'll come in and then we'll just, you know, they're the biggest threat, they've got the most points, we should team up on them. So I really hope there's some strategy involved like that, lots of chatting. But yeah, I'm super excited for free-for-all. They really ought. Like, it sounds a really nice addition, and hopefully we'll get to see more game types in the future as, you know, future Total Wars come out, and maybe hopefully this will make a return as well to the historical Total Wars. So something else I wanted to mention was that James said in the live stream that dragons are now going to have an aerial attack like breathing fire, which is again really cool to see that they've added that, and that's going to create some really interesting strategies in free-for-all, because he was saying that in one of his battles he just hid 2 units of zombies and then had an entire army of terrorgeists, and they were just harassing everyone from the sky, breathing fire, you know, causing havoc, and no one could find his zombies, because obviously if you kill all the ground units, the flying units have to ground, but because they couldn't find them zombie units hiding, the dragons literally just had air superiority and they were just, you know, burning everything in sight. So that's really cool that they've gone ahead and added in fire breathing dragons into the game, and I wonder how that's going to affect the engagements from now on. It definitely makes them kind of, it just makes me think of like gyrocopters but dragons obviously. So yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.